Hello, great people. Popular media personality Charly Boy, also known as Area Father, recently met Dele Farotimi, and a lot transpired when they met. And in a moment, I'll leave you to watch the video of Charly Boy and Dele Farotimi so that you can see and hear what transpired by yourself. Dele Farotimi made a lot of revelation when he and Charly Boy met, and he revealed how he is preparing for the case between him and Afe Babalola, how he's gathering evidence, and what happened when he was being transported to Ekiti from Lagos State. Everything that happened, Dele Farotimi made this revelation. Let me leave you to watch what transpired between Charly Boy and Dele Farotimi. Then when we come back, we'll be analyzing the issues pertaining to the strength and perhaps the weakness of Dele Farotimi, and how this whole issue between him and Afe Babalola can be resolved. And if it is not resolved amicably, if it is evolved through the judicial process, what is the implication of this and what can eventually be the outcome? We'll be looking at this and a whole lot more on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoyele. Let's hear from Dele Farotimi before we come back for more discussion. Let's hear from him.
Only a short rest. The next battle is almost upon us. So it was important to rally the truth. So everything I've done since I came out has been designed specifically for that purpose. Rally the truth. Get them ready for the next round. Focus their attention on what is important. I knew even when they picked me, the day they picked me, on our way to Ekiti, I already knew they had lost the battle. In the bus heading out, the moment we climbed third mainland, I said to the people who picked me, I said, I hope you are all famous now. They were puzzled. I said, you know there are CCTV cameras in my office, and everything you did in darkness. Tell Mrs. Farotimi that Charly Boy is around you. If you are going to give anybody table, it's until you give table, not me and Baba. We don't need it. Just give us our own. Get a table for her to put her drink. It's cold that she wants, and please, she wants a glass. Now we
thank you.
Now we be up the dam. Now we don't need glass. Please, get a glass. So I said to them, you have become famous. When that sank in, I said, next thing I said to them was, oh, by the way you hunt the porcupine is not the same way you hunt the rabbit. Yorubas have a proverb that translates that way, so I used it for them, that the way emu eki bitemu reko is a Yoruba proverb that says catch it, grab it, but not like the porcupine. That proverb becomes necessary when you begin to understand why I was crying in my broadcast on Sunday. I wept because every time I had used that proverb, I had used it boastfully. I had used it boasting in the knowledge that what they were doing would be meaningless and they would have to let go of me. I knew that starting out. But I was boasting in myself. And if I must be a little charitable, maybe I'll say I was boasting in the Lord, in the knowledge that God had won that battle before it started. But one thing became clear to me very quickly as I started the broadcast. I wasn't the porcupine. I was just another.
Well, you just watched Dele Farotimi and Charly Boy, and you heard everything by yourself. What I can say is that massive support has come the way of Dele Farotimi, but there are two angles to view this support that Dele Farotimi has gained. First is that there are some people that would be supporting him, but because of the fear of the powers that be, they won't want to kind of like unveil their face. It is only the strong or people that are not associated with the government, because the Dele Farotimi has repeatedly cast aspersion on the personality of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and for that, anybody that has anything to do with the government, we want to avoid Dele Farotimi. But the truth is that some of the people that cannot decide to associate with Dele Farotimi in public, some of them will be admiring him in private. And on the flip side, some of the people that are admiring Dele Farotimi in public, Dele Farotimi has to be very careful that some of them are not spies for the government, some of them are not fifth columnists, so that he doesn't find himself to blame. But I can say that I've known Charly Boy not personally, but as a media personality since times immemorial, and I can say that Charly Boy is the type that he doesn't give a damn. You know, he just do his thing the way he pleases and based on his personal conviction. So I still have that confidence that Charly Boy is apparently not a fifth columnist, and he is not doing eye service with Dele Farotimi. But for sake of emphasis, Dele Farotimi needs to be careful of the people that will be aligning with him now, just so that they don't get to know of his plans and his strategy. That I think is very important. But then massive support, unprecedented support has come the way of Dele Farotimi. What is the consequence of this massive support? The implication of it is that the judge will be very careful. The judge handling the case. You see, when a case is a public spirited case, that means that the public eye is on that case. Almost every member or majority of the population has an interest in the outcome of that case. Then the judge will be very careful. Another thing is that if it is not just public eye, but the eyes of influential people, the high and mighty, if they are interested in a case, then the judge has no choice than to be very, very careful. So one thing that this portends is that apparently Dele Farotimi will have good legal representation that can present his case. And you heard it in the video where he said that he is preparing his own defense and evidence. And sincerely, I wish him the best of luck. But then he needs to articulate his defense right. But one thing is that the judge handling the case would be very careful based on the public interest in the case. And as regards the judge, Dele Farotimi hailed the magistrate. In that broadcast where he was shedding tears, Dele Farotimi has good words for the chief magistrate that decided his bail condition. He said the magistrate was professional and he was very, he showed great intelligence. So that means that Dele Farotimi himself has some confidence in the case in court based on the way the chief magistrate in the Ekiti court handled the case. You see, Dele Farotimi will get fair hearing, but the only problem he can have is if presidential might is interested, comes into the case. Presidential might can ruin Dele if, for instance, Tinubu is interested in the case. Like, I've watched videos where Dele rightly or wrongly cast aspersion on Tinubu. So if the presidential forces, the presidential might, the powers that be, if they are interested in the case, then it may be kind of like very difficult. But then I don't think Tinubu, let me just play the devil's advocate here, that Tinubu will be interested in the case of Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola. I think as a president, he would have so many things on his hands than the case between Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola. I think Tinubu will be thinking of how to tame or how to kind of like win the likes of Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rabi Kwakwa. So maybe his boys anyway, maybe his political hallelujah boys can now have interest in the case of Dele Farotimi. But the truth is they may not have much interest because Dele Farotimi has no much political capital. It doesn't have much political influence per se. And now another thing that we need to look at in all of this, we can't forget the complainant, which is Afe Babalola. What I can say is Afe should please back down if he did as Dele said, because in an open court, you guys will expose each other's secret. It's like if you go to court when they are hearing cases, nothing is hidden. Both of you will be revealing the secret of yourself. everything will be in the open. Afe Babalola is already old, and I believe that he wants to have a glorious exit when God calls him home. So if he knows that he has done some of the things or any of the things that Dele has said, the best thing for him is to backtrack in court, withdraw the case, and let everything go. Because if Dele have any evidence, and you don't know the evidence that Dele Farotimi has, then that itself can hurt Afe Babalola. So I hope that there won't be any revelation in court that will end up embarrassing him. So if he knows that there can be any revelation in court, the best thing is for him to step down the case. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politin with Dr. Omoyele Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to dissect politics and happenings in the polity. Do well to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.